You have already arrived. The person you are desperately trying to become already exists as a fully formed reality. This isn't a motivational slogan. It is a statement of quantum fact. This is a direct and unavoidable consequence of the observer effect in quantum physics. Your attention, your sustained awareness of a desired state, has already done the heavy lifting. It has already collapsed the infinite wave of potential into the specific, particulate reality you desire. You have done the work. The signal has been sent, and the reality has been rendered. The great cosmic transaction is complete. In the next 50 minutes, I will prove to you with the undeniable principles of physics why the very act of becoming is the only thing holding you back. I will demonstrate precisely how the energy of striving, of chasing, of seeking, creates a quantum paradox that keeps your desired reality at arm's length. And then, I will show you how to make the simple, near-effortless shift into the reality that is, and has always been, waiting for you. This is not philosophy. It is not New Age hope. This is rooted in one of the most baffling and paradigm-shattering discoveries in the history of science, the double-slit experiment. For over a century, this experiment has proven, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that the fundamental building blocks of our world exist as a haze of pure potentiality, until they are measured by a conscious observer. An electron is not a particle or a wave. It is both, and neither, until a consciousness asks it to choose. You are that consciousness. You are that observer. The universe did not begin building your desired life when you started your affirmations or your vision boards. The universe collapsed into that specific form the very instant you became aware of it as a potential. The decision was made. The die was cast. The reality was selected from the infinite catalog. And if you feel a profound exhaustion, if you feel a deep, soul-level fatigue from the constant work of self-improvement, that is the most important signal you can receive. Have you ever felt that no matter how much you meditate, affirm, or visualize, the horizon of your goal just seems to move further away? As if for every step you take forward, your destination takes a step back? That feeling, that spiritual friction, is not a sign of your failure. It is not evidence that you are doing something wrong. It is the primary symptom that you are fighting a battle that has already been won. It is the energetic signature of a person trying to run towards a place where they are already standing. The struggle you feel is the strain of pushing against a door that opens inward. It is the exhaustion of trying to become what you, at a quantum level, already are. If this message of ending the spiritual struggle resonates deeper than anything you've heard, hit the like button now. It's a signal to yourself and the algorithm that this paradigm of arrival is the truth. So how does quantum consciousness work to create this frustrating loop of endless seeking? Let me break down the physics of the problem, and to do that, we need a new metaphor. Imagine your desired reality as a photograph, a perfectly clear, high-resolution, fully developed photograph. For years you have been taught that your job is to become a master photographer. You have been told to buy the right camera, find the perfect film, study the lighting, adjust the aperture, and one day, if you are disciplined and persistent enough, you will finally be able to take that perfect picture of your future self. But quantum mechanics reveals something far more staggering, far more relieving. The photograph has already been taken. The print is already developed. It exists right now as a finished product in the quantum field. Your desire, the healed you, the abundant you, the deeply loved you, is not a concept waiting to be created. It is not a film waiting to be processed in the darkroom of time and effort. It is a finished print, a complete and whole reality. And your only work is to stop trying to take the picture. Your only job is to simply recognize yourself in it. The entire spiritual journey you thought was about developing the image was an illusion. The real journey is about shifting your observation. It's about learning to see the photograph that is already hanging on the wall of the present moment, instead of staring at the blank film of a future that never seems to arrive. By the end of this, you will no longer see yourself as a spiritual seeker. You will know yourself as a reality inhabitant. To understand why you are exhausted, we must first go to the source code of reality. At the quantum level, every possible version of you already exists. This is not philosophy. This is the principle of superposition. The you that is healed. The The you that is profoundly loved. The you that is living in complete financial freedom. They aren't distant dreams waiting to be built. They are fully formed, coexisting realities, vibrating simultaneously as a singular wave of infinite potential. Imagine an infinite catalog of finished realities, and your consciousness is the only thing required to turn to a specific page. The observer effect, which we spoke of, is not you creating something from scratch. It is you selecting one reality, one photograph, from this infinite album. This is where the struggle begins. This is where we get trapped. We think we have to build this reality from scratch, but the photograph of that reality is already fully developed. The problem is we have locked ourselves inside what I call the quantum darkroom. Picture it. You're in a room, sealed from the light. The only illumination is the dim red glow of your doubt and your impatience. In your hands you're holding the chemical tray, and you are endlessly agitating it, trying to force an image to appear on a blank sheet of paper. You're following all the instructions. You add the chemical of affirmations. You agitate it with the energy of visualization. You control the temperature with discipline and hard work, convinced that with just one more push, one more affirmation, one more hour of meditation, the image will finally develop. But the image is already there. It has always been there. It's perfect. It's finished. You are simply refusing to turn on the light because you don't believe it could possibly be that simple. The work, you believe, is in the agitation. The work is in the dark. This brings us to the core concept of our time together today, the arrival state. The arrival state is not a future destination you work toward. It is not a prize you earn after enough agitation in the dark. It is the present moment decision to unlock the door, step out of the dark room, and simply look at the finished print that has been waiting for you all along. It is the realization that the selection of your desired reality has already been made. Now you can see why the old methods so often fail, why they lead to this profound spiritual exhaustion. Affirmations, future tense visualizations, and most manifestation techniques, as they are commonly taught, are actions performed from the energy of not having it yet. They are rituals performed inside the quantum darkroom. Every time you say, "I am becoming wealthy," from a place of feeling lack, you are telling the universe you are still in the darkroom, still agitating the chemicals, reinforcing the deep belief that the image is not yet complete. You are using the language of the journey, not the language of the destination. You are trying to develop a photograph that is already hanging on the wall, just outside the door. This energetic contradiction creates a state of permanent striving, a friction, a perpetual state of almost there. Think of the one goal you've been relentlessly chasing. Can you feel the subtle exhaustion in your body, the tension of holding it in the future? That is the friction we are about to dissolve. This is spiritual awakening explained simple. You stop trying to develop the photograph and you simply decide to look at it. You put down the chemical tray, you walk to the door, you turn the handle. The new paradigm, the one we are entering right now, is a radical shift from doing to being. It's not about adding more energy, more effort, more agitation. It is about removing the resistance of disbelief. The only thing keeping the door to the darkroom locked is your conviction that you must remain inside it. The only thing preventing you from seeing the photograph is your belief that it is not yet developed. The work is not to create, it is to accept. It is to consent to the reality that is already yours. The most profound obstacle on your path is a single, quantum truth. You cannot become what you already are. Read that again. The very act of trying to become wealthy is the most powerful energetic declaration that you are not wealthy. The relentless effort to become healed is a constant instruction to the quantum field that you are sick. The striving, the chasing, the desperate clawing toward a future version of yourself. This is the paradox that keeps your current reality locked in place. Every action taken from a state of lack is a vote for the continuation of lack. It is a perfect, unbreakable, and frustrating law of the universe. Your observation of your own incompleteness is precisely what holds the experience of incompleteness together. The effort is the resistance. For so long we have operated under a tragic misunderstanding of our own power. We have treated the quantum photograph of our desired life as a goal to be reached. We looked at the image of the person we wanted to be, confident, free, abundant, and we began the Sisyphean task of trying to change ourselves into that person. We tried to emulate them, to think like them, to act like them, all while fundamentally believing we were separate from them. We were here, and they were over there, in the photograph, in the future. This is the great spiritual error. You are not the person in the photograph. You are the observer holding it. This changes everything. This is the key that unlocks the door you have been ramming your shoulder against for years. It means all the effort, all the struggle, all the discipline, the affirmations, the vision boards, the sweat, the tears. It was not a failure. It was simply aimed at the wrong target. It was the desperate attempt of the image in the photograph to change itself, when the only power lies with the one holding the photograph, the observer. You. This means freedom is not earned at the end of a long, arduous journey. It is simply accepted in the instant you realize you were the one who defined the journey in the first place. It means you can get off the hamster wheel, right now. The exhaustion you feel is the result of running a race you were never required to enter. Your worth, your wholeness, your value, it was never waiting for you at a finish line. It was not conditional on your becoming. It is inherent in your being, in the consciousness that is observing it all. This truth dissolves the old paradigm of effort and replaces it with a new paradigm of resonance. The work is no longer about chasing a frequency, of trying to broadcast a signal of worthiness to some distant, judgmental universe. You stop trying to send a signal, and you realize you are the signal. You are the broadcast. Your state of being is the only message the quantum field is listening to. Your only work is to stop broadcasting the static of, "I am not there yet," and simply allow the clear frequency of "I am" to emerge. So, this is how to use the observer effect for reality creation in this new paradigm. You don't use it to build a future. You use it to illuminate the present that is already finished, already here, already yours. What if every vision board, every affirmation, every prayer wasn't a request for the future, but a memory of a present you were refusing to see? Let that sink in. This precipitates the most profound identity transformation possible. You are not a work in progress. That entire concept is rooted in the illusion of lack, the idea that you are fundamentally incomplete. You are not a sculptor, frantically chipping away at the stone of yourself hoping to one day reveal a masterpiece. You are a finished masterpiece. You are not the stone. You are the curator of an infinite gallery, filled with finished masterpieces of yourself. And your only job, your only power, is to decide which one to illuminate, which one to observe, which one to give your attention to. Today you stop carving and you start curating. You stop becoming and you simply are. This isn't just a theory. The arrival state leaves fingerprints, watermarks all over your reality. I'm going to show you 3 signs you've likely been misinterpreting as problems when they are actually proof of your arrival. These are the quantum watermarks proving the new photograph is the one you're holding right now. You just haven't been taught how to read them. Until today. The first, and perhaps most misunderstood sign, is the sign of divine apathy. This is a sudden, perplexing loss of intense ambition or desire for the very goal you've been chasing with every fiber of your being. One day you wake up and the fire in your belly has been replaced by a calm, quiet ember. The desperate need, the hunger that drove you to visualize, to affirm, to work relentlessly. It's just gone. And your mind, conditioned by the paradigm of becoming, screams in terror. It tells you that you've given up, that you've lost your motivation, that you're failing, that all your work was for nothing. You mistake the peace of arrival for the defeat of surrender. But look closer. This is not the heavy apathy of depression. It is the light, spacious apathy of fulfillment. You no longer desperately want the thing because, at the quantum level where reality is decided, you already have it. The energetic differential between you and your desire has collapsed to zero. Why would you spend energy chasing something that is already integrated into your state of being? It would be like a millionaire desperately trying to manifest $1 million. The drive is gone because the destination has been reached. You misinterpret this as giving up, but it's the natural state of no longer wanting what you already possess. The chase is over. Your nervous system is the first to know. It has down-regulated from the high cortisol state of striving to the serene homeostasis of having. This divine apathy is not a sign that your dream is dead. It is the irrefutable evidence that you have successfully merged with its frequency. The second watermark is the sign of mirrored realities. Just as you begin to settle into this new state, the past comes roaring back. Old versions of yourself seem to appear everywhere. People you haven't heard from in years suddenly call. You find yourself in situations that mirror the exact struggles you thought you'd overcome. An old limiting belief you worked so hard to dissolve shows up in your mind with shocking intensity. The immediate interpretation is regression. It feels like you're being pulled backward, that you're being tested, and that you are failing the test. It feels like a cruel joke. This is not a test, it is a confirmation. The quantum field is not pulling you back into the old reality. It is showing you the echo of the reality you just stepped out of, in order to solidify your new position. Imagine stepping out of a noisy, chaotic room into a quiet, peaceful garden. For a moment, you can still hear the phantom ringing of the noise in your ears. That ringing doesn't mean you're still in the room. It's the contrast that makes you appreciate the silence of the garden even more. These mirrored realities are quantum echoes. They are the universe holding up a photograph of your past self and asking, "Is this you?" And your calm, non-reactive presence is your answer. Not anymore. Each time an echo appears and you don't engage, you don't get triggered. You simply observe it as a memory. You anchor yourself more deeply, more immovably, in the new reality. It is a gift of contrast, designed to make your arrival undeniable. The final watermark is the sign of uncomfortable stillness. This might be the most challenging of all. It's a feeling of what now? A sense of emptiness, even boredom, that descends after the long war of becoming is over. For years, maybe decades, your entire identity and purpose were wrapped up in the struggle. Your days were structured around the habits of self-improvement, the pursuit of the goal. And now, in the quiet afterglow of arrival, there is a void. The mind, addicted to problems and addicted to striving, doesn't know what to do with peace. It misinterprets this stillness as a lack of purpose. This calm as a sign that you are directionless and lost. This is not an absence of purpose. It is the presence of a blank canvas. This uncomfortable stillness is the space created when the immense energy of becoming finally dissolves. It is the fertile ground required for the new operations of being to take root. You have spent your life as a spiritual warrior, and now the battle is won. The warrior must learn to be a king. The seeker must learn to be a finder. The builder must learn to inhabit the mansion. This stillness is not a void to be feared. It is the space of pure potential you have earned. It is the deep, restorative breath before you begin to explore, enjoy, and expand within the new reality you now inhabit. It is the graduation ceremony. The work is not to fill the void with more doing, but to get comfortable with the peace of simply being. From now on, when you feel a lack of drive, ask yourself, am I lazy or have I arrived? When the past shows up at your door, ask, is this a setback or an echo? When you feel that uncomfortable stillness, that sense of aimless peace, ask, am I lost or am I finally free? In the comments, share which of these 3 signs you now recognize in your own life. Let's create a powerful collective testimony of arrival. I read every single comment to witness your shift. You understand the principle. You have seen the evidence, the fingerprints of this new reality all over your life. But understanding is not embodiment. Seeing is not the same as being. So for the next few moments, let's stop talking about it. Let's do more than just look at the photograph. Let's step into it. I invite you to find a comfortable position. One where you can be undisturbed. And when you're ready, gently close your eyes. Begin by taking a slow, deep breath in, and a long, complete breath out. Another deep breath in, filling your lungs completely. And as you exhale, release the day. Release the mind. Release the need to figure this out. There is nothing to figure out. There is only something to remember. Now bring to your awareness that desired reality. That photograph of you already arrived. But I don't want you to see a scene. Don't construct a movie in your mind. That is the old way. Instead, I want you to feel it. What is the pure, resonant feeling of that reality? Not the things in it, but the feeling of it. Is it peace? Is it freedom? Is it wholeness? Is it certainty? Find the core frequency of it. A pure, uncomplicated sensation. Don't visualize it. Vibrate with it. Now here's the shift. Notice the tendency to see that feeling as something over there. Something you need to reach for, to pull toward you. Let that go. This feeling is not a destination. It is the very space you are already occupying. Allow yourself to realize that this frequency is the air you are breathing right now. It is the silence between my words. It is already here. It has always been here. Feel it in your cells. A gentle hum. A quiet knowing. The somatic truth of your arrival. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is the subtle, unshakable foundation of what is. You are not reaching for it. You are resting in it. Let the tension of striving dissolve from your shoulders, from your jaw, from your chest. There is nowhere to go. You are here. Now for the final step. Notice the part of you that is observing this feeling. The I that is aware of this peace, this freedom, this wholeness. For a moment, just notice the subtle separation. There is you, and there is the feeling. Now, let that distinction dissolve. Gently, without force. Let the observer merge with the observation. There is no you experiencing peace. You are peace. There is no you feeling freedom. You are freedom. There is no separation. There never was. You are not looking at the photograph. You are the photograph. You are it. Stay here for a moment. Simply being. Breathe in this reality. And with your exhale, breathe out the entire illusion of becoming. Breathe in your arrival. Breathe out the memory of the journey. One more time. Breathe in what you are. Breathe out what you thought you had to be. This feeling state. This is your new home. This is your baseline. This is the truth. And whenever you are ready, with no rush at all, you can slowly begin to bring your awareness back to the room around you. Gently open your eyes. As you open your eyes, what is the one word that captures the feeling of this state you just embodied? Not what you think it should be, but what it genuinely is. Hold that word. Welcome. You are now operating from inside the frame. This is not a metaphor you are meant to simply understand. It is a location you are meant to inhabit. You are a reality inhabitant. And from this new state, the old rules of effort, struggle, and force no longer apply. The operating principles are different here. They are principles of resonance, observation, and allowance. You no longer build your reality. You notice it. The dense, exhausting work of becoming is over. The elegant, expansive work of being has just begun. But how do you stabilize yourself here? How do you make this embodied certainty your new default? Your home frequency? Especially when the world still reflects the echoes of your past self. Here's how to use the observer effect for reality creation on a daily basis. Not as a tool to get something, but as a way to navigate the reality you have already entered. These are not tasks. They are the new physics of your being. The first principle is called the isness inventory. For 5 minutes every morning, before your mind has a chance to tell you the story of what's missing, you are going to train your observer. You will look at your immediate reality and list everything that is already consistent with your arrived state. This is radically different from a gratitude list, which often carries the subtle energy of being thankful for small scraps while you wait for the main course. This is not a practice of gratitude. It is a practice of evidence collection. If your arrived state is one of infinite abundance, you don't just look at your bank account, you notice the running water from your tap, a luxury in much of the world. You notice the electricity humming in the walls. You notice the food in your pantry. You observe the simple, undeniable isness of provision. Each observation is you telling your nervous system, this is the reality we are in now. Find more of this. If your arrived state is one of perfect health, you don't focus on the lingering symptom. You place your attention on your lungs, which are breathing without your command. You notice the parts of your body that feel good, that are functioning perfectly. You observe the evidence of the life force that is unequivocally present and active within you. You are anchoring your observation in the truth of what is, not the fear of what might be. This inventory retrains your brain, which has been conditioned for years to scan for danger, for lack, for problems to solve. You are giving it a new directive. Scan for congruence. Scan for evidence of arrival. Do this relentlessly, and your perception will have no choice but to lock onto the frequency of the reality that is already here. The second operating principle is echo deflection. As you stabilize in this new state, your old reality will not vanish instantly. It will send out echoes, a thought of doubt, a feeling of the old anxiety, a person or situation that mirrors your past self. Your old conditioning will scream at you to fight this, to resist it, to affirm it away. This is a trap. Fighting an echo gives it substance. You do not argue with an echo. You simply notice it for what it is, a residual vibration of a reality you no longer inhabit. It has no energy of its own. It is a ghost, a memory of a sound, not the sound itself. So when a thought of, this isn't working appears, you do not engage it. You do not analyze it. You simply label it. Echo. And you return your attention to the feeling of your arrival state. When an old fear constricts your chest, you breathe into it and you label it internally. Echo. You are not denying its presence, you are denying its relevance. This simple act of labeling without judgment or resistance is an act of profound power. It is a declaration that you are the observer, and you are choosing which reality receives your focus. The echo is just noise from a neighboring room you just left. You acknowledge it, and you turn your attention back to the symphony playing in your current one. You stop giving your life force to the ghosts of the past. The third and most immediate principle is embodiment anchoring. That word you found a few moments ago. The one that captured the genuine feeling of your arrived state. That word is not just a label. It is a key. It is a resonant frequency encoded into language. It is your somatic shortcut back home. Your mind will wander. The world will present distractions. This is inevitable. But you now possess a recalibration tool that works at the speed of thought. The moment you feel yourself slipping, the moment the tension of becoming starts to creep back into your body, you are to deploy your anchor. You can say the word out loud, whisper it to yourself, or simply feel its shape and vibration in your mind. Let's say your word was solid. When a wave of uncertainty hits, you stop. You breathe, and you bring the full sensory experience of solid into your body. Feel it in your bones. Feel it in your feet on the ground. You are not trying to become solid. You are remembering that you already are. If your word was flow, you use it to dissolve resistance. You feel the release in your shoulders, the ease in your breath. You are not trying to find the flow. You are the flow. This word is your anchor in the quantum field. It bypasses the analytical mind and speaks directly to your nervous system, reminding it of the frequency of home. Use it 100 times a day if you must. It is not a crutch. It is your compass. These three practices, the isness inventory, echo deflection, and embodiment anchoring, form the foundation of your new life as a reality inhabitant. Your purpose is no longer to achieve. It is to explore. Your to-do list, filled with tasks designed to get you somewhere else, is now obsolete. It is replaced by a to-be list. Today, I will be peaceful. Today, I will be clear. Today, I will be present to the abundance that surrounds me. You are no longer building a future. You are discovering the richness of your eternal now. This is the ultimate shift, the final release. What is the one, I am becoming, story you will consciously drop, effective immediately? Declare it to yourself. That declaration is a quantum event. It is the sound of a chain breaking. It is the first sovereign act of a citizen in their new reality. You now have the understanding. You have seen the evidence in your own life. You have the tools to operate from a place of arrival, not aspiration. You have done more than just learn a new concept. You have fundamentally dismantled the engine of spiritual seeking. You have exited the labyrinth of becoming, that endless maze of self-improvement that always promised a destination, but only ever delivered more path. The search is over. The struggle has been seen for what it always was. A shadow cast by a light you were refusing to stand in. You are home. But this is where the old paradigm gets one last thing wrong. It teaches that arrival is an end point, a final resting place, a peaceful conclusion to a long and arduous journey. It is not. Arrival is not the last page of the book. It is the first page of the real story. The photograph you just stepped into, the reality you just claimed, is not the only one in existence. It is simply the first print you chose to look at from an infinite collection. It is the first page in a vast, limitless quantum photo album. What we have done together here is learn the foundational skill. The skill of recognizing a photograph as finished. The skill of leaving the dark room of the mind and stepping into the light of what already is. But what happens when you realize you are not bound to this one photograph? What happens when you learn to consciously, deliberately turn the page? What happens when you grasp that you are not just the inhabitant of a single, static reality, but the curator of an entire gallery of them? This is the next horizon. This is the true meaning of freedom. It's one thing to stop chasing a reality. It's another entirely to begin consciously choosing from an infinite menu of them, moment by moment. The observer effect, as we have explored it, is the master key that unlocks the door to a single room. It allows you to enter and inhabit the reality of your choice. It is step one. But there is another fundamental principle of the universe, a force so strange and so powerful that Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. It is the principle of quantum entanglement. When you combine the power of the observer effect with a deep, operational understanding of quantum entanglement, something extraordinary happens. You no longer just inhabit a single reality. You begin to consciously communicate with all of them at once. You don't just live in one photograph. You stand in the gallery itself, connected to every image simultaneously. You stop being a resident of a reality. You become a navigator of the quantum field. That is the next level of this work. It is the shift from stabilizing your arrival to exploring your omnipotence. Now that you know you can inhabit any reality you choose, which page in the album are you most curious to turn to next? What does that world feel like? What version of you lives there? Hold that thought. Because turning that page is not a matter of effort, it is a matter of connection. In our next video, we will explore exactly how to establish that connection. Subscribe and activate all notifications, because in our next video, Quantum Entanglement Explained, how your consciousness is already connected to everything you desire, we explore how to stabilize this new reality and begin navigating the entire album. If you found your way here, the next step is not optional. It's essential. It is the fulfillment of the promise we began today. You have done the impossible. You have stopped trying to become. You have arrived. And from this quiet, powerful, unshakable place of arrival, your true journey of infinite exploration can finally begin.